Happy holidays, everybody! This is FilmWise with Black Belt Dragon. This film series still only counts as one.
Home is behind, the world ahead, and there are many paths to tread. Through shadow to the edge of night, until the stars are all alight. Mist and shadow, cloud and shade, all shall fade, all shall fade.
Okay, so the latest Hobbit film just came out and everyone applauded loud and clear, saying that this is another awesome trilogy from Peter Jackson. Well, not as awesome as the first time, Lord of the Rings is still 10 times better in its own way. But the Hobbit trilogy certainly is. Now, the idea is you're probably wondering, why am I reviewing all three films instead of the latest one that just came out? Well, the idea is people just have to realize that this is only one story, so there really isn't too much to focus on. So obviously I'm going to be reviewing three films tops, so I will try to make this as not too long, and not talk too much about things that are details, because obviously I'm just here to review my thoughts on the movie and what I thought. So here's the basics of the story. This is supposed to take place before the Lord of the Rings movies, and this is more of the theatrical, the cinematic version of Peter Jackson's vision of what happened before Lord of the Rings. Obviously, The Hobbit is based on one book, and the Lord of the Rings are like 3 books, so obviously he wanted to expand the story more and wanted to make another solid trilogy, and I think he did well. I mean, he didn't do a terrible job, and I really do want to ignore those people who really hate that he did this, but come on, they're still fun movies, guys. I mean, they're all fun movies. Okay, so let's start with the unexpected journey. Okay, in the beginning of the movie, we see that we get a little bit of, something to have come of the Lord of the Rings. We get a little rip-off clip from the Lord of the Rings movies, and then we head into the story of Bilbo Baggins, who is, I think, the grandfather of Frodo Baggins, played by Elijah Wood, where Bilbo Baggins, the young Bilbo Baggins, he goes back, remembering the time what he did with Gandalf, which was before called Gandalf the White. This time that's before he was called Gandalf the Grey. So what happened is that he's played by the same guy from the latest Sherlock Holmes series. The same guy who plays as Dr. Watson. It's the same guy. I do not remember his name, but I do like the Sherlock series. I am a fan of it. Back away from that and getting back to the plot. Okay, so what happens is that Bilbo Baggins is the burglar of, is the assistant to help out the dwarves, who need to get back to the lands of a big mountain. So they go on this big journey together, and they run into a lot of crazy stuff, and the journey is definitely fantastic, but also a bit long. I don't know, I feel like maybe, I don't think people would have had a harsher time if the movies were like probably an hour and a half long. Each of the movies, if they were an hour and a half long, it would have been just a full 3 hours. That actually would have been better, but obviously they wanted to be more longer just because they wanted to appreciate because Peter Jackson wanted to appreciate the original trilogy of the movies. So I can understand. So they go on this long journey, and boy, is it freaking long. And so you know, things go happen. We also find the part where Bilbo finds the Lord of the Rings, which transition to, you know, the Lord of the Rings movies. You know, we get to meet Gollum again. You know, Gollum is awesome. The CGI is still very good. The CGI in the background is good. The CGI, you know, on everything else. The battle scenes are amazing. Okay, so in the beginning, the first movie really focuses on trying to, you know, go through the journey and trying to stop some kind of troll army, I guess. A very troll army that's trying to kill them. And, you know, they fight off the troll army, and then it leads up to The Hobbit, The Desolation of Smaug, where they have to fight a dragon called Smaug, who is actually the one that actually took the dwarves out of their mountain. So what happens is Bilbo meets the dragon, and the dragon talks. Okay, you know what? Middle Earth logic. So the dragon says that he will destroy small towns, and that he plans to destroy the nearest town, which I cannot remember what it was, but the team actually goes to that town to, you know, help tell the people that what they're gonna do, and that the dwarves need to get back to their mountains. And so it's a big journey, and eventually the dragon kind of, you know, escapes the mountain because Bilbo took one of his treasures, and, you know, because he got him upset, so now he's gonna go attack the town. And it ends with the Hobbit, the Battle of the Five Armies. Okay, finally getting there. Now, with the Battle of the Five Armies, it's where all five armies, the dwarves, the elves, I don't remember if they were in the original book or not. I have not read the books. Like I said, I watched this in the view of the films. And with those trolls, as well as the people, and of course the main team. Okay, now I do want to tell you that I am going to be talking about a little bit of a spoiler, but I really do want to talk about this. It's a big argument through the series, and I know this is nitpicky, but, you know, I just have to talk about it. So, of course, the battle goes on. It's an incredible battle. You know, everything, you know, if you've already read the books, you obviously know what happens. I mean, I don't think this is really too much of a spoiler, but obviously the battle is won, everything is good, you know, and then it transitions to the Lord of the Rings movies, which, you know, it does pretty well. It does it really well. Okay, now we're gonna get to my good thoughts of the movie. What I really like about the movie is that I'm not too really into the story, but I really like the characters. The characters are so memorable in this movie. I just remembered every single one of them. I mean, I remember the dwarves, I remember Gandalf, I remember Bilbo Baggins, which the actor really played well as Bilbo Baggins, and Gollum was awesome. And okay, now there's also Legolas and some kind of other chick. She was kind of cool too. Another elf chick, she was really cool. And other characters that I can't remember their names, but they're pretty freaking awesome. Okay, now let me talk about the bad aspects and the nitpicks of the movie. Now, I want to get to the really bad aspects that I feel like are nitpicks, but they really annoy me. This is a little bit of a spoiler, so if you don't want to hear it, I'll tell you to mute it right now, and then to unmute it, so you can, you know, go back to, you know, the part where I'm not spoiling here. Okay, I'm about to tell it right about now. Okay, so what happens is that, remember the eagles that, you know, once in the Lord of the, like 1, 2 times helped out the team from the Lord of the Rings movies that literally could have saved, just, you know, could have ended everything. And in the 3rd movie, in the first, The Undiscovered Journey, like, you know, in the first Hobbit movie, the eagles saved them again. And in the Battle of the Armies, the 4th freaking time, the eagles save their asses. Like, you know, why don't these eagles, like, just end everything? Like, they could have destroyed all those trolls. Like, my gosh. Oh my gosh. Like, these eagles are, like, you know, so invincible in these movies that they could have easily just ended everything. All the tragedies, all the pain, you know. They obviously, you know, this is supposed to be an adventure. They don't really want to, like, you know, try to make it very short. But when you see a very logical solution in your face and somehow the people in the movie do not know how, like, do not use them, obviously we're gonna, you know, bicker about it. I mean, obviously more people bickered about the multiple endings in you know, the Lord of the Rings movies, and I think that the extended versions of the Hobbit movies are going, you know, a little bit too far, since, you know, they're already long enough, you know. Oh my gosh. It's just that, you know, there are good things about this movie, but there's also some really stupid things. Okay, so now we get to another issue of mine. I don't think this is a big issue to everybody, but Legolas. He is too freaking perfect. Literally, there is a scene in the movie where there's like this really small scene in the movie where he does something so incredible, so cartoonish, so out of nowhere, so freaking unbelievable that, my gosh. It's just so unbelievable how Legolas does this. You know, obviously Peter Jackson was a fan how Legolas, like, could have ended the war too. So pretty much he could have ended here as well. But, of course, you know, that still only counts as one. But like I said, those are my only nitpicks. Another minor one is that I felt that these movies were a little too long. Like I said, even the extended versions, I say if you want to get the movies on Blu-ray, just stick to theatrical versions. Do not get the extended versions because they're pretty long enough. Okay, so my final point in the movie, I think that it's an amazing trilogy of films. It's definitely worth checking out. Even though the Lord of the Rings are better, I say ignore those people who just follow the book. I mean, let them be who they want to be, because if you want to see good, fun films again, and you want to see new Middle-earth stories being told, then this is all you have to go to, and it's definitely worth owning on Blu-ray. They're good movies, they're full of good heart. I give the whole Hobbit trilogy a grade of an A+. It's all 3 movies, they're amazing, they're fantastic, you know, they're definitely great. So, like I said, okay, Black Belt Dragon, signing out. And I'll see you on my next video. But before I go, here's a little small announcement. I'm about to be releasing my top 12 Christmas specials. But I do want to warn people, I might be releasing it a little late, maybe happening after Christmas, but you know the old saying, better late than never. So obviously, even though that Christmas would be past, we would still be in the joyous holiday spirit even after Christmas, and then, you know, heading on to New Year's. But still, I plan that I'm going to release that video even though it's going to be a little late. Okay, like I said, see you later.